Manchester United need better training facilities. All right. 10, 15 years ago, best in the land. Old Trafford, 10, 15 years ago, best in the land. Not anymore. Neither of them. And INEOS, will they be building a new training ground? I hope so. But in the meantime, what about upgrading Carrington? That's what's going to be happening this summer. And it's needed because we got decimated by injuries next season. So I'm going to run through the plans that are going to be happening and the upgrades to Carrington. From facilities to maybe personnel to how it's going to be changed and how the mindset's going to be changing. Because it's all needed. All these marginal gains, if you want to call it that, to coin Dave Brailsford's phrase, they're all needed to make Manchester United a far better elite club. You can let me know what you think in the comments below about all this. And if you can, please do drop a like on this video. Let's see if we can reach, I don't know, 3,000 likes in this video. Why not? I've never set reach targets. It might be quite fun. We can do giveaways and stuff. I think I did that before. Anyway, I'm going to run through this article from the Daily Mail on these training ground upgrades. First thing I want to say is we need a new training ground, in my opinion. Now, I think we can upgrade Carrington. We've been doing it kind of progressively, a little bit here, a little bit there. There's actually been a new part of it that's open for the academy and the women's team already in the last 6 months or so. I want to see United getting a new training ground like Leicester's that was built by McLaren. Interestingly enough, Mags Manar, I can't pronounce your name. Mags Manar? Mags. She worked directly on that project at Leicester, Director of Estates and Infrastructure at Leicester when that training facility was being built. And now she's Director of Infrastructure at Manchester United. Just found that quite interesting and maybe she's going to get involved. But in terms of what's happening at Carrington this summer, right? At the centre of the multi-million-pound redevelopment will be a new pre-activation and players' performance zone. The plans will also see a huge increase in the amount of natural light that pours into the building, blah, blah, blah. Windows and office spaces. Great. Who cares about that? A new pre-activation and players' performance zone. The first thing I would say is, I mean, how bad is the existing one? But it's bad, all right? Clearly. Maybe the facility, and this is what I mean. You can't put it down to one particular thing and say, oh, if we get a new sauna and a new spa, that'll solve it. Or if we get, I don't know, like a new head of sports medicine, like Gary O'Driscoll coming in, that'll solve it. But all these things that just haven't fixed things. This season, we've been decimated by injuries. As I said, Gary O'Driscoll coming in as a new head of sports medicine, and the injuries have only got worse. It's not necessarily to mean that he's terrible at his job, but the pre-existing problems that were there have not been resolved, and any more problems on top of that have just made it worse. All right. A random old photo here. Is that some sort of like CT scanner? Sod knows what it was. But Manchester United's medical department needs an entire overhaul. As I said, there's a new facility that's been built for the academy and the women's team that just got opened about 3-4 months ago. Now, infrastructure investment doesn't go on your FFP. So INEOS can spend a few million here, probably increase the value of Manchester United overall, and it won't go against the PSR restrictions. So that's why they're going to be doing it. And also it's good that they're doing it. Remember, Jim Ratcliffe pledged £245 million into infrastructure investment. Maybe this is where some of it's going to go. And there's a bit more detail to this article as well that we can run through here. This made me laugh. Such is the focus on providing an optimum environment for the first team, the club's laundry operation will move to a new extension at a nearby building to ensure the focus within the walls is purely on football. And you know the first thing I thought of when I read that? Does anyone else remember when we signed Paul Pogba and it was accidentally the ladies that worked in the laundry that revealed that he was at Carrington? I swear that was the first photo. I don't know if I remember that correctly. I'm pretty sure I do. That was the first photo that was released. Anybody remember that in the comments? Let me know. But going down here and a little bit more detail on what this pre-activation zone is. Involves a series of exercises. You know what it is, right? If you go to the gym and you warm up, that's basically what they're talking about here. Dynamic mobility exercises, lunges. These are like basic sort of... Surely we've been doing that. Of course we have. We're a professional elite level football team. But every single thing is under scrutiny. And I think the concept here really is, let's go full screen on this one, is by the sounds of it, they're going to be... One second there. Is that on? Oh, can't get that to work. Never mind. You just have to believe me. That they're going to be probably putting windows in there. I think building partly on the edge of the car park there. Maybe a bit on the end. But as I said, this all feels quite temporary to me. Manchester United go back to 2022 talking about state-of-the-art upgrades. Manchester United in 2023, we're here talking about overhaul. We're talking about a new wellness suite after Ronaldo complained about it. Upgrades. And truth be told, the problems still exist. Now, if you were to look at areas where Manchester United need to improve from a training ground facility perspective, I would say facilities, number one, first of all. As I said, like better saunas, better swimming pool, better rehab facilities, injury prevention and injury rehabilitation. Probably, I would say, feels like the worst point for Manchester United. Martinez got a reoccurrence of an injury, had to have more surgery. Malacia had a reoccurrence of an injury, had to have more surgery. It shows you that the rehabilitation program, who's in control of it and what it is, it's not right. Facilities, people have complained about. They were the best in the world 10, 15 years ago. They're not anymore. So you can strip it all back. But ultimately, it's still questionably old. Coaches, we've got Gary O'Driscoll, but do we need more in there? And the player lifestyle and nutrition. Erik ten Hag went on about that for quite a while, didn't he? About how you need to basically live football. And to be an elite athlete, you have to absolutely live the sport. And United are not elite athletes. Elsewhere, a landscaping project will take place to screen the area from prying eyes, and they're going to build a winter garden. And this one's not really interesting, but it's kind of part and parcel of all the changes that are going on. 247 extra square meters of office space, and that's probably tying into this. So Jim Ratcliffe, of course, he's banned working from home. He's suggesting that 20% less emails are being sent. They've done a little bit of data research, or maybe it was for his own experience at INEOS. And I thought that line was pretty brutal, really. Just said, these are the new rules. If you want to work with them, you can stay here. But if not, you can go and find a job elsewhere. But Brailsford has been doing the audit of Manchester United overall since he came in. He's been our, not CEO by name, but CEO by nature since he's arrived. He's been the man on the ground, the man at Carrington, the man doing a lot of the groundwork. Jason Wilcox is now in. Jim Ratcliffe has been listening to the advice of Dave Brailsford. And this will be the first example of infrastructure upgrades really from INEOS. There's going to be a lot more from this. As I said, I hope that there will be a brand new training facility somewhere else. Man United have been looking at a couple of golf courses for potential new facilities. But in the meantime, in the short term, let's invest and try and improve what we've got whilst we build the plans to maybe build a brand new one, as well as everything that's going to be going on with Old Trafford and everything there. But Dave Brailsford, these marginal gains, all these things can make a little difference. Maybe even a winter garden to relax after training. Better saunas, better rehab, better everything is needed at Manchester United. And this is the start of it. Might not be as exciting as signing a player, but these steps, upgrades, improving bit by bit, it's a complete necessity. And whatever happens next season, we cannot have as many injuries as we had this season. You can say what you want about the facilities. You can say what you want about Ten Hag's training methods, but Man United's injury problems way predate Erik ten Hag. Something has to change, and maybe it changes at Carrington.